Good morning, everyone. We're going to do these beautiful horses feeding at the Ascot Farm in Ipswich. All right, drop some ultramarine with Windsor blue in the sky, nice bright winter sky. Let it come down, pat out some clouds if you like. And then we have some background grass. That's just the quince sienna with a little bit of green mixed in. It'll give you a nice gray. You can push it towards the quince sienna and or the green, whichever you like there. So get that a nice gray in the background. That'll get a lot lighter as we get along there. Okay, we're going to paint this shed. The shed is a violet gray, so it's ultramarine with rose, and then add some raw sienna to it to gray it down. All right, just block that shed in. We'll get back to the roof and all that in a little while. All right, let's do the snow. There's a couple of banks of snow here. That's just, it's Windsor blue with a little bit of ultramarine mixed in. And we're just doing the shadows of the different mounds there. You can study that out and block it in. Make sure you go all the way across. All right, there's some earth. The ground here is, the horses have been walking across it, so it's all turned up. There's some patches of snow, but most of it's a really soft dirt, and it has it's ultramarine with raw sienna mixed into it. Just use a lot of horizontal strokes. Leave some white there to show that the snow is still doing that, still showing. And you got to go all the way across with this. So just go in, like I say, a lot of horizontal strokes, stripes across, leaving it come right up to the horses here. All right, when you get through with that, I sprinkled with some water and I'm patting it out just to get some soft edges in there. All right, I'm going to put the trees in. I sped this up for a little bit because it's very tedious, but you'll be able to see the whole operation here. I'm getting the trunks in first. That's you can approach trees in many different ways. I like to get the trunks in, the heavy part of the tree, get those in, and then work on the whatever leaves you have. This is an interesting painting because we have 2 or 3 different kinds of trees, which is nice. All right, so I'm just going along, putting the heavy trunks in first, and then I'll put the branches in later on. Just look at the photo, study out the photo, put the trunks in, as I say. All right, we're going across on the other side. All right, so there it is. Looks like a deserted forest, but there's all our trunks. I'm going to paint the roof of the shed in now. That's just a gray, dark gray. Same colors, ultramarine, touch of rose, maybe a little drop of cobalt blue there. All right, here's the trees now. I'm going to go real slow here. But I'm using an old brush, and look at the way I'm holding that brush. Don't hold it like a pencil. Use the side of your brush, and it's very dry. Touch it on your towel, get the moisture out of it. It's a deep green, that's ultramarine with a little bit of raw sienna in it, and maybe a touch of Iridian yellow if you need it, but not here. This is the dark side. But as we get up to the lighter side, I'll add a little more raw sienna and a little more Iridian yellow. But look how I'm shaping those branches. That's what you want to do. It's very dry, very dry. Push that brush right into your paper, and you'll get a lot of, light sort of shapes, and it's wonderful. It looks just like, trees form, and little pieces of that spruce up there. You want to cover the top of that tree there, that where the trunk goes up off the paper. it's good to cover that so your eye stops. You don't want your eye to go off the paper. So I'm working over to the other tree now, and just same color, same style, same brush. A lot of brush work, a lot of dry brush. This is very dry here. Really, I got that old brush, and I'm just mushing it right into the paper. Look at the photo, look at the weight, the gesture of the tree, the gesture of the branches, how they're all going out and up, chasing the sun. All right, we've got another big branch coming out here. All right, just like we did the tree with the dark trunks and then the small branches, we're going to do the same here with the the green of the tree. We're putting in the darks, and then we're going in with the lights. You can see that this is a lighter green than the other dark greens. Okay, there's a small tree over here. That's a different kind of tree. It's spruce, I think, but it's not the same type of tree that we've already painted. So again, just the side of my brush, squash it in, mush it in, get some, light shapes on the sides, and just enjoy yourself. It's really wonderful. All right, I've got a finer brush here. This is back to my good brush. Putting in the smaller branches. There's so many of them. Look at that. Look at the photo, and take your time. Enjoy this, because it's a big part of your painting. It's about the horses, but the trees are wonderful. So enjoy them. Take your time with it. Give you plenty of practice of doing branches here. There's plenty of them. Look at them coming and going in and out. In between those branches, in between the greens. All right, now this side we have much heavier. These are spruce trees, but they're much heavier. Same thing. I'm using the same brush, putting in the darks first, adding some raw sienna to it, tiny bit of Aurelian yellow. Working to get the shape of that tree, mushing them together so the trees touching each other. Okay, we have a bigger one in the front here. All right, it's nice. See, it's so nice to just push that color, just smush it in with your brush. All right, get a little bit of Aurelian yellow in there, so that's a little lighter on the edges. You can see, I don't know how good you can see the difference. It's very subtle, the variations in color, but you can see how nice it fills up. All right, we'll get some down here in the bottom of the tree. All right. Beautiful. Just work those edges. I'm putting in the fence here. The fence goes all the way across. Just a suggestion of it above the snowbanks there. Okay. All right. So we got pretty much the whole thing done except for the horses. So we'll get into the horses now. The horses are Quin Sienna and Ultramarine, and I put a lot of red in it as well, Cad Red. And I'm going to focus in here so you can really watch me paint this and how I paint it. You're really drawing with the brush here, but you're really adding that color. The color's wonderful. Beautiful warm browns. Just take your time and study out the shape of the horses. Be very careful in drawing it so you know where you're going. You can see where I added some more, pushed it towards the Quin Sienna here. Very warm brown as the horse turns, picking up the sun. All right, I'm pretty much just following my lines here, but I'm looking at the horse and studying the shapes as I paint them. You're really drawing with the brush, you really are. you do a lot of it, and you want to get used to that. You really want to master that technique. You don't want to depend on your drawing. You know, you don't want to draw lines and then worry about staying in the lines. You want to be able to paint and look at what you're painting, and you know, if your shape is different than how you drew it, you have to make up for that. Okay. It's a nice variation of color here. You know, dark on the back side there. We had a lot of ultramarine, quinceaña. As it turned, we added some red to that. More quinceaña, so it's a warmer, beautiful, warm color there. All right, I'm going to push some more cad red into it. You see how warm that is, and it's going to dry. You know, it dries up. It mutes down as it dries up. Red is one of those colors that, as you use it, it really mutes down. All right, over here we have the same thing: ultramarine, quinceaña. And push the quinceaña. There's the tail. Very dark. Very warm backside here. A lot of red in there. I'm going to add that. Just working the shape of the legs. All right, I got that back shape in here, so just drawing with the brush. Watching my legs. Watching the change of color. Beautiful quinceaña. It's a wonderful color. And I can see that my drawing was a little off there, so I'm correcting it as I'm painting. You can see the head, where I drew the head in. It was a little too long, so I'm correcting it as I'm painting it, and I can easily fix that white shape later. So, all right, bringing the legs down. This horse has a white, sort of white pattern on the belly there, so I'm going to leave that white for now. Put the other leg in. All right. All right, so you can see the difference where I had the head drawn in and where I'm painting it in. So you got to be on your toes as you're painting something like this. You know, you're drawing again with the brush. So, all right. Nice curve of the neck coming down. There's a little bit of a corner there. Working the head. The ears are okay. I'm just going to put some little touch of cobalt blue on my brush there to fill in his belly. Just correcting a little bit of the curve, adding a little red to it. Yeah. Okay, this is eating that grass. All right, I'm going to load up the red here on his backside. You can see that. And it's nice and warm. The sun is hitting that. So I'm placing that red, and then I'll just soften the edges on that as I go along. A little bit there, a little bit on the neck. All right, so just softening the edges. That red is going to, as I say, the red, when it dries, it mutes out nicely. So it's just going to leave a nice warm glow. All right, there's the shadow. Ultramarine with a little touch of rose. And I put a little drop of cobalt blue in there as well. All right, there's the shadow of that horse, the shadow of the second horse. Okay, that helps to fill up the painting there. I'm pretty much there. I'm going to drop a little more Windsor blue in some of these shadows on the snow. Just little tiny drops. It helps to, okay, just a little bit here and there. Going over the whole painting. Look how nice those back hills look now, nice and gray. The dark trees really pushed them back, you know. All right, I'm throwing some of that shadow color on the front here, and I'm just blending it in to give it a little bit of texture, and also to help lead the viewer's eye in there. Okay, very nice. This is a pleasant painting to do. You know, these horses look so nice, so peaceful. Really enjoyed that. All right, just touching it up, little pieces of the nice variation of the colors in the horse itself. You know, little darks and warms. The warms are beautiful. Who's that with the big head? Hey, get out of there. Yeah, okay, so we're pretty much there. All right, thank you for joining me. I really enjoyed that. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. I appreciate it. There's 7 videos on my other site. Thank you so much. See you soon.